Do you ever feel irritable without your morning coffee? Or stressed out about throwing things away? You're not alone. Several new mental health conditions have been added to the latest Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, DSM-5. From caffeine withdrawal to hoarding disorder, these newly discovered conditions reflect our modern lifestyles and growing understanding of the brain. Today, we're going to explore some of the interesting new additions and what they might mean for diagnosis and treatment. Which ones are the most controversial? Let's discuss. Social Pragmatic Communication Disorder. First up is Social Pragmatic Communication Disorder. Now, this one is for people who have trouble with social communication and interaction, but don't have autism or any intellectual disabilities. With this condition, someone might have inappropriate responses in conversation or difficulty communicating and picking up on social cues. It can make it hard for them to connect with others and can cause problems in their relationships, academics, or careers. The goal with identifying this disorder is to distinguish it from autism spectrum disorders and ensure people get the right treatment and support. It's about bringing these social communication challenges out of the shadows. Disruptive Mood Dysregulation Disorder. Next, we have Disruptive Mood Dysregulation Disorder. This one is for extreme temper tantrums in children under 18 that are beyond normal kid behavior. Now, we don't want to pathologize a child throwing the occasional fit, but apparently there are severe cases where the kids have explosive, uncontrollable rages completely disproportionate to the situation. Identifying this disorder can ensure these children and families get help instead of just dismissing rages as bad behavior. Proper treatment can help manage the extreme mood swings. Premenstrual Dysphoric Disorder. Moving on to Premenstrual Dysphoric Disorder. This one's likely to be controversial. It's for severe PMS symptoms right before a woman's period that are bad enough to interfere with daily life. We're talking about serious mood swings, depression, hopelessness, bloating. Now, lots of women have unpleasant monthly symptoms, so people worry this medicalizes a normal experience. But for a small percentage of women, around 2 to 5%, it goes far beyond normal PMS. Identifying this extreme form can validate that it's more than just hormonal changes and help women get treatment so they can function. Hoarding disorder. Alright, up next is hoarding disorder. We all have that one friend who won't throw anything away, but in some cases, hoarding gets severe enough to take over and interfere with someone's life. The DSM now recognizes compulsive hoarding as its own disorder defined by extreme difficulty discarding possessions, distress when trying to get rid of stuff, and clutter that takes over living spaces. Identifying it specifically could help with better understanding of the underlying causes and developing better treatments, whether through medication, therapy focused on the behavior, or both. Caffeine withdrawal. Caffeine withdrawal is newly listed too. So for coffee addicts out there, that headache and irritability when you miss your morning jolt is legit. Caffeine is everywhere now. Coffee, energy drinks, even caffeinated food. So it makes sense to officially recognize withdrawal, with side effects like headaches, fatigue, and crankiness. Of course, anything in moderation, but for those dependent on caffeine, lowering intake can cause real withdrawal discomfort. Cannabis withdrawal. Same goes for cannabis withdrawal now that marijuana is legal medically and recreationally in many places. Just like with coffee, people dependent on frequent cannabis use can get irritable, anxious, lose their appetite, and have sleeping problems when they stop. Since marijuana was illegal until recently, less was known about withdrawal. But now, research confirms it's a real condition as cannabis use increases. Excoriation, skin picking disorder. Finally, excoriation disorder, also called dermatillomania or skin picking disorder. This is chronic, repetitive picking and scratching at the skin, often to the point of wounds or scabs. It can be triggered by other skin issues like acne or bug bites, but the compulsion to pick can spiral out of control and take over. Identifying it specifically helps distinguish it from other disorders and guide treatment with medication, therapy, etc. Alright, those are some of the interesting new additions that can now be officially diagnosed. The key theme is identifying specific conditions allows better understanding and treatment, but it also risks pathologizing normal experiences. It will be interesting to see these disorders better characterized through research. The brain is so complex, there's still so much to learn about mental health.